In this video, I'm going to create our first team and first board. So we've created our community, we've logged in. Um, in the menu here on the side, you can see this is my demo school. I'm going to create a team. I'm going to call it grade 3. So, but you could have a faculty team, you could just have a team, whatever name, it doesn't really matter. It could just be a group of teachers, but the idea is that it's a board that's shared by a group of teachers, and we can make it public or private. I'm just going to make this public, and you can put a description in if you want. So I'm going to create the team, and you can see that there's the new team space. If I open up the menu, I can switch between the team. The teams are listed here. There are my private boards, but I'm going to create in a space where the other grade 3 teachers can access it. To create the board, this is my default empty board just here, but I can click on that to create a new board. If I've got other boards already, I can create a new board by going here, create board. So I'm going to create a new board and I'm going to call it reading, but it doesn't need to be subject based. Really, this is about what works for you and what the way you organize your learning and teaching in the school. It could be around collaboration, it could be around creativity, it could be around the projects that you're creating, the way you're running the projects. It could be around design thinking, it could be around the subjects like reading or maths or whatever. It really is up to you. So I've created the board, and you can see it. The board is organised in a number of different sections. At the top, we have the intended developmental level, and at the bottom, we have the historical developmental level. In the middle, we have the learning and teaching model. On the right-hand side, we have the vision or the purpose, and at the bottom on the right, we have the innovation thesis. In this screencast, I'm going to talk about the developmental levels. And really, these are a rich picture of student learning, where they're starting from at the bottom, historical level, and where we're aiming to get them to in the intended developmental level. And really, we're moving beyond just acquiring knowledge or ticking off skills to trying to paint a richer picture about student learning. To edit them, I click on the level. I'll start with the intended level. And intended developmental level is pretty boring, so non-descriptive. So I'm going to change the name of it to, well, we're trying to, in grade 4, develop independent readers. So I'm going to change this to independent reader. So I'm trying to paint a picture of what we're trying to produce as independent reader. Each of these characteristics, motivations, sources, and results, if you see I mouse over, they give me some prompting questions. So what do these learners do for the characteristics? What do they do well? What don't they do well? The motivations, what are the reasons these learners want to engage in learning activities? How are their passions developed? Who do they learn from? What do they want to achieve? The sources. Do these learners who do they rely on in order for their activities to be successful? Who are the people they learn from? What concrete materials? So we're not just talking about people as sources, we're also talking about concrete materials. Obviously, in this one, it's books. What digital objects and learning technologies do they use to solve their problems? And results. What are the results of the learning activity? What are the results of being an independent reader? Who benefits from the results of the learning? How is learning celebrated? Who celebrates the learning? So here we have the results. To add a characteristic, so an independent reader is able to read most texts and books. I can click the save and you see it pops up here. I can also drag these around, drag them into the bin if I want. And in order to make the screencast get a bit faster, I've already created one. So what I do is I try to paint a picture, and you can see I haven't got many dot points in each box. Really, you want to keep it 3 or 4. You don't want to throw in so much information that really it becomes meaningless. And if I go back and look at the board now, and this is my reading board, you can see I've got independent reader, and I've started to paint a picture of what I'm trying to develop as independent readers. And my historical level, developmental level, I've renamed it beginning reader. So what are the characteristics, motivations, sources, and results? So I can use the IO board to start painting a richer picture about what learning and teaching looks like for reading in this case. But remember, it doesn't have to be just the usual basics of reading and writing and maths. We could make a board around creativity. We could make a board around collaboration. We could make a board around project learning. whatever. So hopefully this helps you get started. A great place to start with your first board is create it in a team space and then start to think about the learner, the developmental levels. What's their historical, where are they beginning from developmentally, and where do we want to get them? Okay, thank you for this screencast. In the next screencast, I'll look at how we describe the learning and teaching model. Thank you. Bye for now.